Igor,
Started. Yes.
yes, it started. Uh, I had a look at our chat when was the first time I reached out to you, and it was October 2024, I
Oh,
think.
crazy.
So quite a while ago. So we're finally here, and we talked about this. There's times for shipping, and there's times for this kind of conversation. So thank you so much for being with me. Maybe you can give us a little intro who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Igor, and we, with my small team, we are building a MicroFactory, and basically our goal is to build autonomous factories. So, and we specifically started with two-arm cell for electronic assembly. And there is a common problem that uh, this model that exists, they not work good for this case. So we need reliability and preciseness, and these models usually cannot provide this. And that's why we were forced to build our own pipeline specifically for our usage and for electronics.
Hmm.
Um, yeah.
We come back later to this. I think everyone who is a bit active on X have seen the videos. I think they went pretty well. Everyone is really excited about these things. But for those who are listening regularly to the podcast, I'm always very interested in how we came to this point here. So maybe you take us a little bit back and yeah, tell us about the upbringing and the all those things that I'm very much interested in.
Okay. Uh, so we can start from probably. Do you want me to tell about students here or?
I mean, whatever you feel comfortable. Some people started like I was disassembling toasters when I was 6 years old, and
Okay.
so feel start whatever you feel comfortable with.
Yeah. So it's interesting that I was not super interested in robotics initially, but I was interested in startups. So to me, it was pretty interesting to solve some complicated problems and to do something useful for people. And then I read a book from Jessica Livingston, I guess, like Founders in Action, or it's called something like this. So yeah, and then I try to do something that's fun also, and that's why during my students year I switched to game dev, game building. I was like an indie developer and created about 15 different games, and just trying to have fun along the way.
Hmm.
Yeah.
These building stuff. I mean, you started in you were talking about studies at the moment, but if you don't mind me going back 2 seconds, um, a lot of people on the podcast they tell me that this building, in one way or the other, had started even earlier, right? So I remember someone telling me they were selling some stuff on eBay early on because they didn't get any money from home. They couldn't get any, but they wanted to have new computer parts or new computer games. So they started on a very entrepreneurial way in just buying some stuff and then reselling them on eBay, making some money here or do some programming very early on, even in school, starting doing websites. How is that for you when you started? You said you are interested in startups, but what was there anything before that, technical wise or entrepreneurial wise?
So I was always interested in the this type of persona who is crazy inventor. So in the Back to the Future movie, I like this crazy professor that do this interesting stuff, usually cutting corners. So yeah, so I built like a telescope. I built like pinball machine for myself. So it's like small little inventions. And then when I switched to, so I didn't like uh, just typical business because it's too much of work and hustle. So I tried once. I created some toys from balloons and tried to sell it, and it was so hard that I decided that I need to invent something and then make it easier to do business.
Mm. But what age was this?
So it's like school years, like 15, maybe a bit earlier. Yeah.
And was that the first, I mean, were you the first or among your peers, your friends that was doing something like this, or was everyone trying to do some money on the side?
So they don't tell me about this. So as far as I know, I'm the only one who do these strange things. And as for these inventions, so usually, yeah, I don't saw like that someone tried to do something similar. So yeah, and then it helps when I went to the university. I have more like-minded people. So yeah.
What did you decided if I mean going to university? I mean, some people that I have had on the podcast, they were very much I wanted to study mechanical engineering or being electrical engineer. How is that for you, making the decision what you want to study?
So I loved computers, and that's why I decided to go there to computer science faculty. But it was like pretty inefficient, so I quickly lose interest. So usually if you obsessed with something, you quickly learn about the things, and like the lectures become pretty obvious and non-interesting. So yeah, so I mostly studied by my own and maybe with some peers to do this. Yeah.
University, there's some people that, as you said, they are really interested in building their things on their own, and then you find out that this is what they teach me in class. I did this already a couple of weeks ago because I need to
Yeah.
solve XY problem. But you did finish studies and or did you change? Maybe yeah, maybe you can tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so I started to play with different technologies. So at that point, there was a huge growth in social media, like Facebook appear, and I'm originally from Ukraine, and we have our own version of the Facebook. So there was a good marketplace for apps for these social medias. So one of my first side hustles was the creation of this app, and it went pretty. So from third attempt, it went pretty viral, and it has about like more than 1 million daily users. So it was crazy to try to optimize this, and we didn't have Amazon Cloud or some systems that can do this for you out of the box. So I needed to quickly learn engines and do different types of optimization for database to make it work, but it was pretty fun experience and much interesting than something that you learn in university and lectures.
So this is then which year are we talking about?
It's hard to say. A couple years after Facebook was launched, probably.
So around 2010-ish, maybe 11,
Maybe
12.
11, 12, maybe 13, yeah.
So, and then you said that you built your own version of this. I remember back then I was traveling and I came across Facebook, and when I came back, there's three German brothers. Their business model was to see whatever
Yeah.
happens in the US and just make a copycat and then sell it back to them. So we had our own version of Facebook, and it was, I mean, I think in the very early days it was very successful, but then people wanted to be part of the real Facebook, so they sold it very easy. But so you built your own version of that, and you said there's no AWS where you can outsource the majority of infrastructure to that. How big
Yeah.
was it, and why did you decided to not continue this?
So a little clarification. So it was application for the social
Yeah.
media. So it's like
In add-on.
Farmville, yeah, Farmville from Zynga, but different version. Can you repeat your question?
Oh no, I said, why didn't you continue with this?
Oh yeah, so yeah, it went pretty well for about 2-3 years, and then for some reason, like people, for specific reason, so there was a boom of phones, and people switch their gaming to phones, and these apps became obsolete. So yeah, I ride this hype a little bit, and yeah, and I was young and not experienced, so it was hard to me to make a consistent business from it. So it mostly was learning and maybe earning some money from this. Yeah.
As this was after your studies, you were free to do whatever you want, right? Did you start to think about what can I do next in terms of being an entrepreneur, or what can I do next in terms of being an employee? Because there's two upsides to it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so I liked this taste of being an entrepreneur, and so I created this app during my students year in my free time. And then I decided to continue and try to be an entrepreneur. And the first thing that came to my mind is just to make games, because like I heard this saying that you need to do something that you like, and the first thing that come to my mind is just the games. So why not try to combine both? Yeah, and then I started to make it as an indie developer. So, but game dev, it's quite complex business. You need to have feeling of what will be popular and what would not. You need to have some skills in marketing. And at some point, there was a huge trend of casual games, like super simple games, but that generate revenue. And they bought all the advertisement, and it was super hard for small game companies to grow. Yeah.
If you're thinking back on this time, because you've built something and you grow this over a couple of years, and now you're switching to something else, was there some learnings that you think helped you on the second for the second part of your journey as an entrepreneur? Or looking back now, even now that you're even much further in your journey, is there something that you think, if I should have, if I would have known this earlier, I would have done better or gone further?
Yeah, good question. So what came to mind is that I had this understanding of how like market fit looks like, how it feels like if you have a demand for something, like people just attack you, your servers went down, and like, so it's super clear that you make something cool. And then with games, it was quite hard to repeat this success, but it was easy to understand that I didn't make something good now. So it's not problem in me, it's not problem in my approach is that I just need to search more and maybe understand more of what people need and build it. So that's something that tells me that I need to iterate and switch to something else if I don't have this feeling.
So would you say that because you said that you heard that you should do something that you like, which is one of the key things if you would like to do something for a very long period of time, but then secondly you understood also there is something called like product market fit. So you have something that people really want, and not only developing or going down towards the path of this is something that I enjoy doing, but also it must be something that people want.
Uh, yeah, so in perfect world, you want to combine both of these things. And of course, you need to eat something, you need to earn money somewhere. And otherwise, you need to go and find job, which is not super interesting. That's why the best case to combine something that you like and you can work for a long time with something that people need. Maybe it's just a definition of a startup. Yeah.
So how was that for you now with this big competition and not such a demand that it has been before, but yeah, working towards that, how is that for you? Like in practical terms.
Um, yeah, so it's pretty hard to do something that don't give you a good response. So you still do this until you just run out of money. So this is how it usually looks like. So yeah, so I did this for a couple of years, and then I decided to even try to work for some time and just understand how it feels to be in a big team. So I joined this game dev company who make one of these huge title for mobile games. Just to understand how they have a processes, and at that point they grow pretty with a good rate. So it was interesting to understand that from the perspective of a big company. Yeah.
I mean, this is what a lot of people really, especially in our niche, in our industry, like the startup world, underestimating, right? I mean, corporate is boring, right? And corporate is very static, but there is a lot of knowledge in there. There's a lot of people that really know and has deep technical expertise, and then also processes, right? So processes. So they do know, like, have a workflow from everything when it comes to maintaining, service, supply chain, how do you do sales, like the entire machine of things, right? So joining one of these companies for a couple of years before, I mean, always someone should always trying to find the right balance between what they want to do and what is necessary to achieve what they want. So, so you think this was kind of another university or school for you to see how business is being done on a larger scale?
Yeah, it was pretty interesting, and especially like if everyone have some specialization, they go there pretty deep. So we have some analytics who analyze the usage, analyze the views, analyze the conversion, and it's pretty interesting how they use all those tools and how complicated can be this process. So I think it's pretty useful to try to work at some company. It's better to choose maybe some fun company and that grow and have good processes. But yeah, it's pretty different world, and you have more comprehensive understanding if you try both of these things. Yeah.
But I guess you didn't stay happy as being an employee. So what did make you starting doing your own things again?
Um,
Do you remember?
yeah, so I was a little bit tired about virtual things. Like everything that I created was just code and some images, even if they was animated and moved in some way, but it's not super interesting. So then I decided to try some physical business and saw a small niche. So there is so we have photographers in our among our my friends, and they trying to create their own lighting devices for shootings. And I saw like, why are they making it themselves if you can do this professionally and make good product? If they have need, if they have such a need that they need to spend time to build this. And at that time, I already read some Y Combinator materials, and I saw that one of the advice that you need co-founder. So I started to looking for a co-founder and find a guy who published his work in social media, and I was pretty impressed with his ability to do things carefully, because like in hardware, like you need to pay attention to super small detail and be careful with every like pay attention to these things, to all the nuances, or it will just break. So I sent him a message. I tell that, hey, there is this niche. I proved him the demand for this. I showed some pictures and asked for a call, and then we started to make this business. Yeah, and on initial stages, it was pretty hard. We didn't think about investment because it was originally in Ukraine, so we don't have this good environment for this. So we just trying to build a good product, have some healthy margin, and grow from it. And on the initial stage, it's super hard. And at some point, you run out of money, and you have to pay rent. And sometimes it's the difference between you get money and paying rent. It's like a couple of days, or you just bankrupt.
So which year are we talking
But yeah,
about? Where are we on the timeline?
so about 2-3 years after the game dev, about 15, 16.
So you guys were forced to close the business?
No, I just telling that it was pretty hard, but we were able to
Hmm.
keep it running and make profitable. And it was hard on the initial stage, but as soon as you have this flywheel, it then just became like almost automatic. So we hire some people for assembly work. We agree with some influencers to market it, and basically we closed all this loop. Yeah, build a good website and have some videos on YouTube that generate leads for even a couple of years. So yeah, just a lifestyle business. And it was also pretty fun, and finally I was able to do something physical, and you can, the most pleasant part is to make iterations and polish everything, so it became more and more perfect as a product. And yeah.
I mean, this is what you should aim at, right? There's some people said, okay, this works somehow, right? People are think this is decent enough, but really having the the standard of no, I want this to be perfect, right? So I'm continue building this even though I make money with this already, right? Because there's some companies that just stop. Okay, it sells, it's doing okay. So, but you had the vision of making this better and better and better.
Yeah, so on initial stage, you need to ship it as soon as possible, and we were pretty embarrassed with the first versions, but we still give it to people for experimenting, and yeah, but over time, yeah, the product is something that can drive your whole business, and that's why it needs to be like cool, maybe not necessary like perfect, but all the components should be should match together to make it sexy and nice. Yeah.
So how long did you keep the business until you decided to do something else? Tell us about the story.
Yeah. So we work on this about maybe 9 years. It was pretty a long time. We have some experiments with different ideas, but it's hard to. It's pretty hard to find something that people like, and it's pretty hard to find demand for this. So it was a success with initial application for social media, but then it was struggle with these games, and then it was more or less success with this light. But then we have multiple unsuccessful trials, despite we think that it can be a good idea. Yeah, and in this business, we pretty quickly hit the ceiling for the market, because we specifically targeted on wedding photographers, and different countries have different style of wedding photos. And in Eastern Europe, people like this fancy light, even if it's artificial, but they like when everything shines. But in the other part of worlds, it's not so. It's not the case, and that's why. So we pretty quickly hit the limit of the market, and we just cannot grow it more. And that's why we decided. That's why we make this experiment to try to switch to some other niche. And eventually, we decided to move to San Francisco because we saw this huge shift in what's possible. We saw the self-driving cars and ChatGPT, of course, and we decided that we need to be here just to have a feeling what's happening and just be on the edge of technologies. And of course, it's super fun to play with all these new toys. Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, now that you switched from one journey to the next journey, when is the time where you decide, because you can do this earlier, you can do this later, right? Postpone decisions. But what helped you making decisions? So is there a specific mindset, or is that somebody that you have came across earlier in your life who taught you this, or maybe you read a book or listened to a podcast? When is the moment that you decide, you know what, this is not working anymore, let's do something else? Because there is this, I don't know the psychological effects or reasons here, but people are so risk adverse that they tend to stay on a sinking ship much longer than they should to, right? It's this Japanese saying, like the sooner you get off the wrong train, the shorter the way back will be, or something like that. So do you have a specific system or way thinking about these situations and say, you know what, it was nice, it was a great journey, but now it's time to do something else?
So I wish I have it, but probably no. It's always case by case, and looking back, it's hard to see what solution would be better.
Never mind. I just thought that,
Yeah.
sometimes it is like this, like looking back, oh, there were a few moments where I thought, I don't think this is working anymore, right? And this could have been because someone else said something from the team, or maybe a a member or a partner said something. I mean, these moments when I'm looking back also, it's very hard to pinpoint it to one exactly moment, but sometimes it's happening over time. But some people do have a very clear idea. No, 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 it was this moment because on that day because this happened. And for example, I always tell the story when it comes to Siemens. I worked there for almost 5 years. That I needed to have a little ID to be able to take pictures in the factory. So, and it was about to expire, but it was about to expire when I was on vacation. So I went to this guy and said, "Look, this is about to expire. So when I come back, I would like to have a new one." And they said, "Yeah, yeah, we can't renew it. We do need to wait until it's expired." I said, "Yeah, but then I will come back from my vacation and it will be expired, and then I give it to you, and then it takes a couple of days or weeks until you make it new. So that means there will be a gap of me not being able to work like this." Says, "Yeah, I understand, but I cannot renew it because it needs to be expired first, right?" So this was the moment where I thought, like, dude, like seriously, so this is the system, this is the way you handle this thing, and there is no way around world there that you can change that simple, very little thing. And was the moment, one of the moments where I thought, dude, I can't do this with people that are so tied to the structure and system, right? Anyways, but then let's go to the things that I think the majority of people listening are like super 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 interested in starting your new journey. You said that you have been already to making the jump over the ocean and being in San Francisco, seeing the hype of robotics, but there's still what happened until you decided what you're doing today. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, so at that moment there was no uh, huge hype about robotics. Um, so we started to just experiment with things. We saw this hype of these wearable AI assistants. So we tried to do our own. And so we made pretty decent device, but like I just didn't feel how it can work. So I have some imagination that you can talk to your assistant, you can maybe schedule some events with this, but it was pretty made up demand. So yeah, we experimented with a couple of things, but just then decide why we trying to look for problems if we already have this manufacturing business and we already know what problems we have with assembly work. And then we decided why not just to try to automate this type of process. And also knowledge how to build something physical, of course, it's helpful in robotics. And you usually need to, like all stack can influence how your robot performs. So it's pretty important to pay attention to hardware and not only try to solve everything with good AI. While some people think this is also a valid way. Yeah.
So those 9 years, I think that's what you said, of building those light devices, you had a lot of experience in how to build things, and now coming across this new, not new technology, but technology assembled in a new way, especially with the help of AI. so that you thought like this is a demand that I had back then, and I cannot be the only one assembling things. So do you think like so the starting point would have not been having conversations with other people and coming across other people's demand, but really your own demand from your past work?
Like this one, and also like it's pretty obvious that if you do some machines that can assemble products, that it will be useful. Like everyone assemble products. Like a lot of businesses assemble products by their own, or they outsource it to China, and it's a huge industry. So for these deep tech projects, usually demand is not something that is risky. Usually risky the technology, and if you're able to do this. And yeah, and to me, it feels like it's better to find some niche when I'm for sure know that there is a demand because of this experience with products that didn't work. Yeah.
But then there's still the path between an initial idea and then testing and iterating and stuff, and then finally coming with, okay, no, I know what I want to do and what I want to build. Like, yeah, I mean, was there a moment, or was this like the consequence of the iteration phase? Like what you have today with MicroFactory?
Yeah, so it was pretty clear that it's important problem, and it's something that worth trying. And then we tried to assemble something, and we choose some. So we went to a pretty nice accelerator in San Francisco. It called Founders Inc. And there was a huge amount of people who like business-minded and try to do something, and even workers that work for these startups, they even have this business mindset. And one of this worker, it was a girl who assembled photo frames, and she designed it herself and sell it on Amazon, and she assembled it in China. And then we thought that it was a super nice idea to try to help her and make it as a first use case. And then we so we make a lot of trial and errors. Of course, this existing robots don't work, existing models don't work. So we just need to iterate on hardware, on model side. But we, at the end, automate this assembly and can assemble this photo frame once fully autonomously. Like maybe, not once, but it was not reliable. So it can do work, but reliability was a problem. But that was enough to show other people around that we are a pretty capable team. And this video went viral. And this helped us to keep this momentum and raise some funds and make a business from it, from this. Yeah.
And what year was that? Was that last year or the year before last?
Yeah, it was about 1.5 years ago. Maybe, yeah, between a year and a year and a half. Yeah.
And having this video going viral, I mean, this is I mean, in the creator business, everyone is everyone who came across this once or twice, see what it can do for you, right? There's a lot of demand, there's a lot of inbound, a lot of interest. Doors will be opening for you that had been closed before because you see there's obviously demand. But then raising the money is a different story, and then not only raising the money but doing something with that money. Maybe you can share a little bit how it was after this initial viral moment, raising the money, assembling the team, and improving the product?
Yeah, so we had this understanding of the demand and the product itself. Round of investments came up pretty easily. So just people send me inbound messages and tell that, hey, I want to invest. And and then we rent an office space and try to find the team. So the problem is this, that mainstream thought how you should solve robotic problems is like they not think a lot about reliability and preciseness and things that you need for a real world. So usually it's some big lab who is try to create AGI, and they have infinite amount of money and time, and they say that we maybe solve this reliability maybe in 10 years or something like this, but we need to solve the problem now, and that's why it's pretty hard to find scientists for our team who can do, like, who align it with this vision. And that's why we find pretty super impressive founding engineer who can build the software part. Victor is super talented with hardware, but for scientific side, so we decided to make our own iteration, how we see it, and later we found a guy who is also originally from Ukraine, but he was one of the creators of this VLA model in DeepMind. He was in the team with Sergey Levin, as I remember, and he, like, these people, they can think independently. If they are already like in top position, they usually have independent mind and can think about this differently. And so we use his experience as a high-level advices and guideline how to do this, but we ourselves and I capable to just iterate on this high-level advices. But now it seems like it's working. So we have, I just prepared the publication about how our stack work and why it's important. And now I think it will be a bit easier to convince classical academic scientists that it makes sense and we should pay attention to reliability and preciseness. And for this, you should do additional steps, not only collect ton of data and train model.
What are those steps?
Yeah, so our thesis now that for AI model, you need reliability phase. Like you collect a lot of data, like it was with GPT-3, but it became useful only after a reliability phase in terms of RLHF. So you have some RL, reinforcement learning. So your model should be roll out in real environment and collect this experience and should learn from this. And you can do this for most of major industries. You can do this with code, with language, even with robots that dance if you have a flat floor. But you cannot do this for manipulations. Because if you try to use reinforcement learning for some assembly work, it will damage your materials, it will damage robot, and it will take you like 100 years to make it reliable.
So what's your approach?
So there is in robotics, it's much easier to give to show proper movement to the robot. Like in language models, you expect your model give you answers that you don't know. But in robotics, you know how your robot should perform, and that's why you can give this like supervision to the model yourself. So we run robot, and user like make corrections if robot went wrong, and then you retrain it again and again and do this. It's basically like continuous learning loop. So your model roll out to the world, understand weak points, and then understand how to improve it. And there is so it's a known approach, and it's called like DAgger, when you intercept this control and try to correct these errors. But in the classical way, it don't work. But when you do some tweaks and you have good control stack, you can make it work for infinite amount of times. And if you make this retraining cheap, you have this basically substitute for reinforcement learning, but for manipulation. And with this, we are able to make model work with near like 100% of reliability. And if something went wrong, you always have tools how to improve it and drive to this cover these edge cases. Is it make sense to you?
So leaving the hardware things, because you said, reliability, precision is a big topic, but the way that other labs are approaching this from the AI side is different from what you guys are doing. But being very much a hardware, I mean, like doing the full stack of having robots that are doing precise the work, but then coming up with new ways of training that data that is necessary to be able to have robots executing those tasks very reliable. And is that something, because I mean, I think we see new models coming out almost on a weekly basis, and new breakthroughs, and there's a lot of things happening in robotics, right? I mean, golden times for me, talking about this and showcasing this. But you said that are you publishing a blog post or something where people can have a look at what you guys are doing? Is there something that you are about to share?
Yeah, so it's already online. It's in microfactory.com. You have a link research blog on top of in header. We want to publish it officially on Monday. We now have this pre-read phase. I ask my friends who have science experience to read it. But yeah, basically I describe it, all the details, most of the details, how it works and why it makes sense. And yeah.
For your journey as a company, you raised some money, you hired people, you have a new office or lab. What is the next phase for you? What is the next step? I mean, you said that you're trying to roll out as fast as possible, not only for the customers, but also for your trainings and for the models. Where are you? What are the next steps for you guys?
So we spent quite a lot of time to make it work, but now it's in the release phase, and we shipping it to real customers. And yeah, now we also have a wait list of people who want to have it. So now we need to grow a team and just ship these products to customers. And that there was quite a journey to make it work reliable, because this control stack is pretty important part. You need to like write everything in Rust. You need to have good cameras. It should be synchronized. You should optimize model, because with every iteration of this learning loop, your errors can be compounded. So you need to have precise teleoperation kit. So yeah, and also we squeeze it because you have a lot of retrainings. You cannot afford a huge model to be retrained frequently. So that's why we squeeze it. And then now it can run on Jetson Nano, so it's pretty cheap. And this retraining cost us about $5 per training, despite that it's pretty advanced model. So we make the steps to make it production ready, and people can have like positive ROI from deployments. And now we are shipping and trying to keep up with this process. Yeah.
And do you think that you're, because you're deploying right now already, or that you're about to deploy, so do you think there will be another phase where you guys do need to raise some more money to scale up operations?
Yes. Maybe it's not the topic I want to discuss publicly, but so raising is a part of the process, despite we like to do things so useful that it will generate money and we can work even without investment. But just to do this research, it's pretty expensive part. And being in San Francisco, to be able to hire top people is also expensive, and it's hard to match it with bootstrap business. Yeah.
But you said something very important, that you do have a wait list, right? I think this is something that these Y Combinator schools and others, accelerators, I think doing a pretty good job in terms of raising money is nice. Let's forget about this business because it's a business on its own. But the actually having a product that is shipping where there's actually demand and people really would like to buy this from you, right? A waitlist is that kind of validation. If it's not a free waitlist, if it's a waitlist with a deposit. Because I just talked to someone who had a waitlist of 5,000 people, but it was for free. So then I said, okay, I don't know if that is really a valid list of having, but it's good that you think of the paying customer first.
So I agree, and from my understanding, it's not probably a question if there will be a demand for something that can assemble product for you. So the problem is to build it and to make it work with positive ROI, and this probably a problem that robotics experience. That you have a lot of demos, and even some people call it production while it's still a demo. If you move robot to the factory and run it, it's still called demo, because you need to your robot to make sense and generate value and have positive ROI and all this stuff. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of these deployments and pilot phases where you have a product that is not there yet, right? That is 92%, 95%, and where you actually need the deployment to make it ready. You need not a customer, you need a partner. That's what I always say. Someone who understands that this is top-notch technology that you can't buy anywhere else, and you do need to understand that there's some things. This is not a supplier that you've been working with like automotive for 20, 30 years, where you can demand the 90.999% reliability, but that you will have technology that you can't find anywhere else, and that you do need to help the company, in that case you, to make it and bringing to that level, right? And so there's a reason why shipping is so important, because there's only so many things that you can do in the lab.
Yeah, but you need to not stuck on this phase where your robot can do something but it not make sense. You can always have humanoid that just move part from one place to another, but does it make sense for this specific case? So it's probably you need to see details how it works and what the calculation of this work. Yeah.
So this is the reason why you said the positive ROI is very important from the very early beginning.
So for us, yes, this is our understanding, and that's why we're trying to make it work with AI, like without remote teleoperation, which is pretty complex and expensive. So we're trying to make just something that works like 10 times cheaper or even 100 times cheaper because you have this local inference and it can run on a small GPU. And in this way, you can have a huge difference between that people already use or they try to assemble it by hiring people or do this themselves or outsource it and with the product. So if product is multiple times better, then it becomes nice.
When you started going into this journey, starting with robotics, starting with the arms, I mean it's not too long ago that the SO100 came out or the SO101, the hackathons, the new models that you could use. So do you, I think, would you agree that you were just in the right time where all those things came out that gives you also like a kickstart and also the accessibility of these kind of things?
Yeah, it's pretty important. So all these things like it's a robot library and community. And SO100, it's pretty helpful on the initial stage. And it's pretty helpful if you don't have a lot of money and financing, but you want to experiment. It's pretty important to have it. Yeah. So now a lot of things changed. So maybe it's not enough to try something with a robot and make pick and place. So the demand from robotics companies went much higher, but it's still very important to have accessible technologies. Yeah, we started with the robot and with SO100. We changed it quite a lot, and we make some tricks with this cheap VTEC motors to remove backlash. So we use it in a pair. But yeah, we needed initially some starting draft that you can work on top of. Yeah.
And because we have a lot of people interested in robotics here, what do you think would be something that they enjoy listening and understanding, something that you can share about the technology? I mean, you were trying to explain the technology, the AI side to it, but is there anything else where you think, when you show people, when people come to you, friends or colleagues or your peers, they are pretty amazed and surprised maybe even when they see what you do and how you do things? Something that you would like to share?
So is your question about the technology in general?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we have pretty huge progress in the last 2 years in terms of models and hardware and software. So I think pretty important to see what the current level of technologies and what companies can offer. And yeah, I think it will be much more. So I'm here talking with people and understand what's happening in the labs and it's pretty impressive, and progress is quite huge. I hope we are a little part of this, and also trying to move this technology, and trying to trying to convince people that reliability and preciseness is also like important for real usage. But yeah, a lot of things to pay attention to, and a lot of new things appear. It's even hard to focus on something. Yeah.
I mean, when I publish the podcast, I also do a little promo for the podcast episodes, right? You said that you're about to release some stuff on Monday, or making a bit of a launch. So I hope that I can help a little bit in spreading the word what you guys are doing. So I'm more than happy that you can provide me with some more stuff that I can use for spreading the word from this episode, but also what you guys are building and shipping. As we're coming towards the end of the podcast, I'm always trying to, this is a very cliche question, but always trying, and I asked something earlier about this. Um, I started this podcast and I just reframed it. I think this is the third season with a third different name of the podcast. I think the first season was Kinematic Conversations, and the second season was Building Deep Tech. I now call it 22 Astronauts because this is the name of my company, but also because of the what an astronaut means to me. It means going somewhere else, trying something new, being bold, have no fear, or like really trying out to discover new things, right? And I wish when I was younger, I would have had the opportunity to listen to these kind of things, because my life changed tremendously just a few years ago when these kind of podcasts became very popular. So I was listening to this kind of podcasts, I was reading this kind of stuff, and then that helped me rewire my brain in terms of you can do just things, right? It's a saying now, you can just do things, and so I'm saying this to maybe inspire you to say something, and I asked this earlier, something that helped you in on your journey, right? Something that inspired you. For me, this podcast is about giving back and having other people listening to, oh, so you can be a game dev, or you can live in Ukraine and then go to San Francisco, right? That can be inspiring, hopefully, for other people. So is there anything that somebody gave you, or that you came across, that you would like to, I hope there's not too much pressure, but is there anything that you think, God, it would be so good if somebody would have told me this a couple of years ago, that would have made a few things easier. And even, yeah.
Like something that come to my mind is like moving to United States and to San Francisco was pretty huge influence on my life, and meaning like environment that around you is important, because being in Ukraine, for example, I was trying different things, and it wasn't working. And sometimes it's just because environment is not suitable for your experiments. So you need to try to move to new places, trying to do new stuff, and search for a good place for you to grow. And not blame yourself if something not working, because sometimes it's not your fault. You just need to move somewhere in a better place. Yeah.
I like that. I like that so much, because I do know a few people that are unhappy. And I think, guys, if you would somehow find the courage and the opportunity to go somewhere else, that you can see it's not you. It's just you've just been unfortunately in a position where you haven't been surrounded by the right people that encourage you, and instead of discouraging you. No, I think this is very valuable. Thank you so much for that. Also, thank you so much for taking the time. I do know it's a very busy time for you, and I'm happy that we find together. And I'm looking forward to what's coming out of your lab, of your company, because I do think that this is something that is on a more practical level and that is closer to us than some humanoid topics that are a bit further away from what we're about to encounter.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, and like humanoid also valid, and you just need to make it right and in proper steps. So yeah, and we think reliability is pretty important, and especially if you can make autonomous factories, you can assemble these humanoids, and you probably be in good position to compete with big labs.
I
Yeah,
see.
super interesting conversation. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank
Uh,
you. Thank you
yeah,
so much.
yeah, and yeah, and I listened pretty interesting people in your podcast, and like sometimes there is no way to hear some specific thoughts that you have a talent to bring on the surface. Yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you so much. I think I think you guys are always pushing, and I said this earlier. You're always looking for the next step, and there's so many things that are on the plate and to-do list that you do. So for me, I think it's always nice to force you to stop for a second and say, you know what? Do you remember where you have been? And I've seen founders on a daily basis. I've just been coming back from Berlin and just came back from Munich. And I know these people for a couple of years. I said, like, I took a picture, says, you know what? I take a picture of you because this is the beginning of a new chapter. You just closed a big company that you've been working for the last 10 years, and now you're starting a new chapter. And for you, it's just normal because there's so many things that you do need to take care of. I need to do this, but like, stay for a second. And this is awesome. What you guys are doing is crazy, right? And you're part of what is happening at the moment, right? And you should take a few seconds to realize it. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to help you with that for a second. Thank you so much. Take care and have a good night.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Bye bye.
have a nice day. Yeah.